Hey, Tburrier from Tburrier.com. A friend of mine sent me a video a couple days ago. It was fantastic. It was an interview with David Bowie. And obviously, it was many, many years ago. And I was so impressed by how introspective he was. And I mean, of course, it makes sense. People that are in that position who are really thoughtful about their life end up getting really introspective and they get a lot of clarity. And he shared something that I think is of high value. And he said, you never play to the gallery. And what he meant was that you don't go on stage as a performer and try to impress the people you're in front of. Because if you're focused on trying to impress them, you're not going to be authentically yourself. You're going to be thinking about, he didn't, these aren't his words, this is me adding to it now, but you're going to be thinking about what would they want you to be like, as opposed to being you and being true to you. And this is a broad lesson. It's not just about being on stage, it's about life. You have to be true to you. You can't play your life trying to be accepted and trying to be approved of, because if you do, the compromises are going to be so great that you're going to end up living a life that is meaningless to you and is still going to be meaningless to others. Because how can you possibly make an impact when you're not being who you are created to be? So there's a couple of things that I'll tag on to. So the first is, make sure you're true to yourself, and this is in all regard. I mean, don't change the way you behave. Now, I'm not saying if you're a jerk, you should always be a jerk. I think you got to monitor that. But I'm saying don't be someone different around certain people in order for them to like you. If they don't like you for who you are, they are not your tribe. They're not your kind of people. There's plenty of people that are going to love you exactly for who you are. And those are your people. And so don't try to impress people. That is a waste of your life. And it creates compromise. And it also, by that compromise, it creates dissonance, creates cognitive dissonance, emotional dissonance within you, because you know you're being a fake. You don't want to go through life calling yourself a fake. You're going to destroy your own self-esteem. You're going to end up wandering around going, I don't even know who I am anymore. No, you got to get to who you are, and then you got to live that full out. You got to be your unique self to the maximum. I'm not saying you misbehave from the standpoint of how you treat people. I'm a big fan of treating people with kindness and respect in all capacities. And everybody should operate that way, because that's fundamental. I'm saying from everything else, what you decide to do, the choices that you make, the things you do for your career, the things you pursue on the side, the things that that you believe in, champion those things. Don't try to be all things to everyone. That's not going to work. It never has, and it never will. And then the other thing is, don't settle. And this is going to come right into the same plane, right? Because settling sometimes is done for approval. We don't go after what we want in life because we think others wouldn't like that we care about. Man, that's a slippery slope. The people that care about you and love you, they want what's best for you. They might not know what that's supposed to look like. As a matter of fact, I guarantee you they don't know what that's supposed to look like, because they can't even figure it out themselves. I mean, that's just the truth, right? That's the nature of the human experience. Unless you are deeply steeped in development and you're paying close attention to what's going on all the time with you and how you react to things, and what drives your emotions, and what drives your feelings, and what drives your energy, and what makes you feel good versus what takes away from you, right? Unless you are fully steeped in there, most of your life is spent trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Once you get purposeful about it, less is spent trying to figure out what's going on, and more is spent interpreting it and understanding what it means for you and how it means you have to grow and develop in relation to it, depending on what it is. So don't settle for trying to live a life that's not meant for you, which means less than, right? Because there's so much more probably that you could be doing, that you feel called to do, that you're just afraid of. And maybe you're afraid because of the other people. So if that's a thing, recognize that you can have success in life, you can have actualization in life, or you can have someone else's approval. But don't worry about having both. Pick one. Which one's more important to you? What you want in your life or what someone else wants you to have? That's pretty damn easy to think about, isn't it? And then the second thing is don't make excuses for yourself, ever, right? If something is hard, figure it out. I know that you have your own set of circumstances that make your life tough. Everybody does. Some are worse than others from a perceptive standpoint. Until you're inside of someone's skin, you don't know. You have no idea, right? Some people you think their life is really hard, to them it's not. Other people you think their life is really easy and it's brutal. So you don't know, right? Focus on where you are, right? Take care of your house first before you start figuring out if someone else should be cleaning up theirs. If something is hard, don't make an excuse that you can't do it. Just figure it out. And don't quit. Life is hard, right? I mean, you got to do life anyway. It's going to be hard. It should be hard, right? I mean, that's how you grow. Growth is hard, right? Growth is not easy, right? But it's a lot harder not to grow. It's a lot harder not to go after what you want. And if you have a problem, don't spend any time lamenting the problem. Don't worry about where it came from or who caused it. Figure out how you're going to fix it. I mean, come on, put your focus in the right place. Be true to you and make no excuses. And I can tell you, if you function with those two guiding principles, there's a lot more guiding principles that I have personally that I talk about in 3 Circles Living. And this is a relatively off-the-cuff message in that maybe I jotted 2 notes down and then I sat down to make it. Go after the life that you want, not the life someone else would have you want or want for you. Because that's not you. That's not yours. And that's a ticket to misery. A ticket to joy, a ticket to actualization, a ticket to your highest contribution. That's going after the life that you know in your heart you want, whatever that looks like. And there probably is an exact picture of it. You don't need one. You don't need to know how it's going to look. You only need to know that's the direction, and then you start. And you don't stop. I hope you found this helpful. If you want to connect with me in other ways, I have a blog, Tburrier.com, all kinds of content from many, many years for all kinds of things, personal development, leadership, the competencies that make you an effective human. You also can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on my Facebook fan page. I don't spend a lot of time on social media because I think it's a huge time suck, but I do put content there to serve people who are trying to do better in hopes that maybe it just helps somebody. That's it. That's all. Hope you have a great rest of your day.